morning. What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is Legendary Season 2, Episode 1, The Grand March Part 1. So, listen, not only is Legendary back, okay? But Legendary is back, and they have given us a whole 3 episodes, okay? So episodes 1 and 2 are the Grand March Part 1, the Grand March Part 2. Because we know that there are 10 houses, and rather than try to do all 10 houses in one episode to give us our little introduction to the houses, they broke it up into 2 parts, which makes a lot of sense, and I appreciate them for it. Now, some things have stayed the same, some things are different. The judges have stayed the same. I think some people were complaining about the judges and things of that nature, but listen, all of the judges are back, and at this point, I just, you know what you're getting. You just know what you're getting. The show has moved to LA. It did not film in New York this time. It filmed in LA this time, and I'm sure there were a variety of reasons why that went down like that. Is that it? I think that's all. Oh, the points. Last season. Okay, so there's and my ballroom people, correct me if I'm wrong when I say this. There's sort of like two chapters of ballroom when it comes to scoring, from my understanding. So the early days of ballroom, there were scores, and then it got to either it was a chop or you went through, right? Last season, that's what they did. They did either it was a chop or it went through. And if you were a chop, it was automatic. And then you could get chopped for anything. And it was really up to the judge's discretion, just like it is in the ballroom now. The judge could just not like the way, like the color of your hat, and it's a chop. Like, it could really be that petty. Or it could be something serious like, okay, you tripped over your shoe coming down the walkway and chop. I think because of the way last season ended, there was such, at least for me, I can't speak for everybody, but at least for me, that final decision was sort of cloudy. This year they went to points. So each judge is actually scoring on a scale of 1 to 10. And then, so it makes it a lot clearer when we start getting to the points of, okay, this house got this many points, this house got this many points, this house got this many points. The bottom 2 points is who has to battle it out. It makes it a little less anticlimactic as far as at the end when they had all of the houses out there and they would say who was the top house and then they would eliminate it. But I think for the people participating and for the fans, it's a lot clearer. You still don't have to necessarily agree with the judges, but at least you have an understanding of where the judges are coming from and you see what's going on. So anyway, so we've got a point system, So we've got a point system. So that was pretty much the main, in my opinion, the main differences for this season. So we start the episode off with the reigning champs, the House of Balmain. Y'all know I said that name wrong all last season. Performing and, hey, they did they thug thizzle. We was here for it. The 10 houses of this season, and listen, I had to make sure I got all the houses, child. Milan, Chanel, Tashi, can't read my own handwriting, Icon, Prodigy, Balenciaga, Lux, Nina Onchi, Mugler, and Garçon. Those are the 10 houses this season. And let me tell you, I'm going to just go ahead and tell y'all right now, I'm partial to a couple of these houses for different reasons. I'll tell y'all why as I go through. Okay. Deshaun Wesley is back as our MC. Like I said, all of that's the same. Deshaun Wesley is back as our MC. Oh shoot, I wrote it down. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to write it down. Anyway, whatever. Okay, so we're back. Okay, so the first The Grand March is all about the 5 elements of Vogue, and we know that that's catwalk, hand, spins and dips, duck walk, and then house performance. So the first house we saw the house of Nina Ricci. And this is two houses that have combined. And so we have co-founders. We have Father Omar, and then we have Mother Nina, I think. I think I got the mother's name wrong. But they have a virgin walker. She's never walked a ballroom before, but she has a background in dance. So, but everybody else that's on their team, it's from the ballroom. My notes was that I felt like they were a little stiff, but they were the first to go. I think it might have been a little nerves. Now the judges didn't seem to agree with me. They got a score of 36, and shoot, I keep La Roche. Gosh, I could get his name out. He actually sort of liked them, and for La Roche, that was. The next house was the house of Balenciaga. They have Mother Shannon. Listen, I was here for Mother Shannon. First of all, Mother Shannon, you look good, bitch. I was here for Mother Shannon. Mother Shannon said, listen, I went to federal prison for embezzling $17 million. $17 million. Listen, I'm just impressed that her ass got out of jail, okay? Because white collar, they don't look at white collar. That's considered a white. I'm not, see, I'm about to go down the rabbit hole. But she said she met her ballroom mother while she was in jail, and that pretty much saved her life, and going to jail was a blessing. She said that she don't even remember what she spent that money on, just designer this, luxury that, spending money on this and that. I would like to see her story done on, y'all know that BET been doing Trap Queens, and a lot of the the Trap Kings, that the American Gangster, it's sort of the spinoff of American Gangster. Now, American Gangster, most of the people they highlighted were drug dealers, right? Guys who were drug dealers in the 90s and all of that. And 80s and 90s. But for the Trap Queens, a lot of the women they've been highlighting are women who embezzled money and who made money like white collar crimes. I would love to see her story told. Anyway, I'm sorry. See, this is why I be getting sidetracked. Okay. She said as soon as she got out of jail, she went to ballroom, and she's been part of the ballroom scene ever since. Their performance, I thought, was beautiful. And what I love is, bitch, listen, Mother Shannon fell during the performance. And if you didn't know she fell, you wouldn't have known she fell. First of all, her kids kept going. The show must go on. And she incorporated it. And it happens towards the end. So she sort of kind of just stayed down there and sort of worked the floor a little bit. But again, you knew she fell, but the way they incorporated it, it was great. I was here for it. And like she said, listen, you gotta find a way. You gotta keep the show going. You gotta find a way to keep it going. And they actually got pretty good scores. They got almost a perfect score. They got a 39, even with the fall. So that lets you know how good of a performance it was, and how well they handled the fall, because it really could have went left. I also think what helped with the fall is that because of COVID, there's still no live there's no live audience. And I think without an audience reaction, I think that helped as well. Because, had there been a live audience and she had fallen and everybody would have went, I think without having that reaction, it helped. You know what I'm saying? But Balenciaga is definitely a team to beat. But they are a legendary team. They're a legendary house in ballroom. Lux is the newest house. We have Father Nemo. They ended up losing a member, Ja, who was like their flip and dipper, the equivalent of Shorty from like last season, who was just all over the place. He broke his hand in rehearsal, and so he cannot perform. And so I feel like they were at a disadvantage from the beginning because they had lost a member. They only got a score of 32, so they were really at the bottom, early on. We have the House of Chanel, which is a legendary house. We have Father Drama. They actually have two brothers who are actually blood brothers. They have the same mother, different fathers. They said they didn't really grow up around each other, but they knew of each other. And, from time to time, they would be in the same spaces. But then when they found out they were both gay, they sort of bonded on that and became, they built their own relationship from there. This is a house that's been around for 40 years. So this is, again, a legendary house. My notes here is I feel like they were thinking too hard. You could see them thinking about every move. Like, it wasn't fluid. It was 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It just wasn't, there was no fluid to it. It just looked like a routine. And you never wanted to look like it's a routine. Does that make sense what I'm saying? And then the other thing was they had this prop on stage that they were supposed to throw it off stage and it didn't quite make it off stage. And then it sort of got in the way. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say about the House of Balenciaga is that they had, remember from last season, they had the villains. And they had my girl, they had Honey Balenciaga, who is now with the House of Balenciaga. And they had my girl who was from my house, from DC. She's what they call them, 007. So she's not part of a house, but she was on there too. And I she did a vlog after the episode aired about it. Excuse me. They did really bad. They got a 22. 22 out of 40, not good. Not good. So then we had the House of Mugler. I like saying Mugler. I'm probably saying it wrong, but I like saying it. Now listen, I am partial. Let me tell you something. I am partial to the House of Mugler for a couple of reasons. Okay, I'm partial to the House of Mugler because my girl Tati is a part of this house. Now, if y'all remember, I have talked to y'all before about my house. It's on Vice. I think it's streaming. Somebody told me it's on YouTube or it's streaming or whatever. Y'all go back and watch it. My Vice. My house is about the ballroom culture in the house, and they follow certain people. And Tati is one of the girls they follow. And when I tell you I love me some Tati, Tati is definitely a legend on the ballroom. And her season was very much about her making a decision to leave the House of Mugler because of some concerns and some issues that she was having. And we meet a few of the other people. Alex Mugler, who I would love to have seen Alex be a part of this, but I think Alex is too busy touring with Rihanna and stuff, child. We see the father, Arturo, who we met on My House as well. He was in a couple of episodes. And so I am partial. I'm just letting you know now because I love Tati. I love her. I feel like I'm partial to the House of Balenciaga because I think I done fell in love with Mother Shannon. Now, Diego, who is a member of the house, we find out that he lost his mother a few months ago, and he's still very much emotional about it. His mother is Shannon from the House of Balenciaga. They used to be part of the same house. He left to become a House of Mugler, but she said he is always my child, and so I'll be rooting him on from the sidelines, and I got love for him. And when he, I know he's going through a lot right now with everything with losing his mom. But I am so here for him. So that was great. I thought that. So they got a score of a 38. So the bottom two houses was the House of Lux and the House of Chanel. So from the House of Lux, we had Becky dancing a battle. And from the House of Chanel, we had Angel. And actually, it was a 2-2 split. The judges had a 2-2 split. And after the 2-2 split, they had to make a decision about, do a tiebreaker. And the tiebreaker ended up being the House of Lux. So they're going to stay, and the House of Chanel was eliminated. But they are a house that's rebuilding. They said they know their house that's rebuilding. And I feel like Lux is at a disadvantage because they're down a member. And I don't know if they can replace a member. Like, when that happens, they just have to keep rolling with the short team, or can they bring in a ringer? Do they have, an understudy type situation? I don't know. We'll find out in the next episode. We'll find out. So that was part one. Again, I feel like a lot of people gonna give La Roche a hard time again. I feel like he doesn't care. He wants to be the Simon Cowell of this show. He relishes in the villain role, and I feel like that's just who he is. This is just gonna be what it's gonna be. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all thought about the first episode. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.